to win the $1,000 gift. Watch till the end and comment how many stories in this video. A brother and his younger sister lived together. Their parents had died earlier in a car crash. Over time, the little sister became sick with a hard illness. The brother cared for her and her needs every single day. One day, he took his sister to the hospital for treatment. The doctor came to the brother and said, "Your sister will not live for long." The brother was shocked and worried, and a feeling of deep sadness grew in him. He took his sister home and played with her. "What is the thing in the work you want the most?" asked the brother. "I want to play, and I want to have a teddy bear to carry in my backpack so he can watch over me when you are not there. I want to listen to bedtime stories and look at the sea," replied the sister. The next day, the brother brought her a teddy bear. The three of them became like a family. Every night, the brother read bedtime stories. He tried to make his little sister's days happier, but he saw she was getting sicker every day, in a lot of pain and hurt. Yet on her face, he could see her will and desire to live. One morning, the brother took her to the beach by the sea. "Me and Teddy Bear like the sea. It's so calm and beautiful," said the sister. "You'll see this sea every day and enjoy it as much as you want," answered the brother. The sister then opened her backpack, took out paper and pen, and drew the sea. They sat there together by the shore. The next day, the sister asked them to go back to the beach again and watch the sunset. The brother granted her wish, and she drew a picture of herself and her brother sitting by the sea. Time passed, and her health grew worse. One evening, before sleeping, the brother was telling a bedtime story, and the sister felt very sick. The brother called an ambulance, and she was taken to the hospital. Lying on the bed, she still tried to smile and stay cheerful. "You will get better soon, and we will go to see the sea again," said the brother. "Tonight I will rest. You go home and sleep. Come visit me tomorrow," the sister replied. In the morning, the brother came to the hospital and found her bed empty. The doctor came and said, "Your sister passed away during the night." The brother began to cry. Sadness crushed him, and he felt hollow inside. That evening, he went into her room and found drawings of the beach. On one picture was a note, "I knew I was going to die. Thank you for making my last days brighter. Now I'm going to heaven, and I'll take care of you." The sister woke in heaven, standing before a golden gate. A mysterious man appeared and came to her. "This is heaven. You will never feel pain again. You will be happy, and you can take care of your brother," he said. "How do you know I want that?" asked the girl. "I watched you from heaven. I know how hard it was for your brother and how much you want him to be happy," replied the man. "Will I be able to watch my brother forever and care for him?" asked the girl. "Yes, you will," said the man. The sister sat on a cloud and watched her brother. She saw his sadness and suffering every day. The next morning, the brother woke up alone in the house. He went to his sister's room, but it was empty. The emptiness and sorrow grew stronger. He went to the beach and sat by the water, looking at her drawings. In one picture, a teddy bear was in the sand, not far from them. He looked around and saw the teddy bear buried there. He dug it up and found a note. "I want you to be happy and continue your life. I was strong because of you, and I want you to remember me like that. I will watch you every day. Thank you for everything. My teddy bear will protect you forever. I love you." There was once a boy who usually played by himself at the playground. He came with a friend, but that friend always left him to join the other kids. One day, while sitting alone on a bench, a stray dog walked over and started playing with him. The boy smiled with joy. From then on, he returned every day just to meet the dog. "You make me happy," he told the dog. One afternoon, while they played, his friend threw a stick onto the road. The dog ran after it, and a car hit him. "No!" the boy shouted. His friend and the other kids laughed. Crying, the boy carried the hurt dog out of the street. A man appeared and said, "I will help you." He took the dog to a vet. The vet examined him and said, "The dog's leg is broken." Then he reassured the boy, "He will survive. Don't worry." The man later helped the boy and his father build a small shelter and care for the dog. The next day at the playground, his friend asked where the dog was. The boy answered, "His leg is broken. He needs time to heal." The friend laughed and said, "Then go play alone." Weeks later, the dog recovered, and the boy brought him back to the playground. He saw his friend there, now with an injured arm. The friend said, "I'm sorry I hurt your dog. Want to play together?" The boy agreed. But during football, the friend shoved him, hurting his leg. "It hurts!" the boy cried. The dog barked angrily at the friend, who only laughed and said, "I just wanted to hurt you," before walking away. The man appeared again and and said, "I will help you." He carried the boy to the hospital. The doctor looked at him and said, "Not everyone we call a friend is a real friend," then promised, "Your leg will be fine tomorrow." Later, they saw the friend again. The dog chased him, making him fall and injure his arm again. The man whispered, "Life always returns what you do to others." Days later, a policeman came and said, "Your dog hurt another kid. We must take him." The father angrily questioned the boy, but still the dog was taken away. Weeks passed. The boy sat lonely at the playground until the man returned, holding the dog. "Turn around," he said. The boy's eyes lit up, and he hugged the dog tightly. The man looked at him and said, "Your friend always hurts you. Real friends don't." The boy replied, "I just don't want to be alone." The man smiled gently and said, "You're not alone anymore. Life gave you this dog." The boy hugged him and said, "He makes me happy every day." One day, the boy noticed his old friend sitting alone. He asked, "Why are you alone? Where are your friends?" The friend lowered his head and said sadly, "No one wants a fake friend." A group of fighters were in a battle. After the fight, they found a dog in a broken house. The dog was hurt and looked sad. "Hey friend, we will help you," said one fighter. The fighter took the dog to his camp. The animal doctor checked the dog. "The dog is in very bad shape. He might not make it," said the doctor. "Do everything you can," answered the fighter. Days went by, and the dog got better. From then on, the fighter took the dog on every trip. The dog became part of their group and helped with everything. One day, the group of fighters were close to the enemy's camp. There was a box in front of them. The team leader said, "It might be a trick. Maybe something is under the box." The dog looked at the box. The fighters waited and threw small stones at the box, but nothing happened. "Nothing there! Let's go!" said the team leader. The dog began barking loud. "Stop!" the fighter shouted. Then the fighter picked up a stone and threw it into the grass beside the road. A big blast happened, and the fighter fell down. "The dog saved us!" the team leader yelled. "Where is the dog?" the fighter asked in shock. Then another blast happened. The fighter saw that the dog found another trap and set it off. The fighter ran to the blast and saw the dog on the ground. "No!" he cried. The dog stood up and ran to him. "You're alive!" the fighter said with joy and smile. Time went by, and the bond between the dog and the fighter got strong. The dog was never away from the fighter again. When the fighter felt sad, the dog was always close. Soon it was time to go back home. The fighters packed their stuff and got ready to get on the bus. "You're coming with me! You'll stay in my home!" the fighter told the dog and hugged him. The fighter and the dog reached home. He took the dog inside, and a loud bang was heard. The dog got scared and hid behind the fighter. Then the fighter saw that the sound came from a movie on the TV. He understood that the dog was scared of the loud noise. "I know why you're scared, but don't worry, you're safe here," the fighter said and hugged the dog. In the next few days, the fighter and the dog walked around and enjoyed the city. While they were walking near the water, the dog ran into it and jumped in. The fighter ran too and jumped into the water. The dog and the fighter felt very happy. "I'm glad I met you there. I'm alive because of you." One night, the fighter and the dog were walking on the road and were attacked by a group of bad people. The fighter tried to fight, but he got hit and fell to the ground. He woke up in a bright place, standing in front of a shiny gold door. A strange man showed up. "Where am I?" the fighter asked, surprised. "You are in heaven," the strange man said. The fighter was shocked. "Where is my dog?" "Your dog saved you from criminals." "I want to go back. I can't be here without him," the fighter yelled with pain. The fighter opened his eyes and saw he was lying on the ground. Then he saw his dog protecting him from the bad people. The fighter felt someone picking him up, and then he saw his old friend from the army group. "I heard your dog barking, so I came to help you." The fighter was taken to the doctor place. He was sitting in a bed and asked, "Where is my dog?" "He is waiting for you outside the hospital. He didn't want to leave. He's lying by the door," his friend said. In the morning, the fighter came out of the hospital. The dog was still there. The fighter hugged him and said, "I will never leave you." In the evening, the fighter and the dog went to sleep. They lay on the bed, and the dog lay beside the fighter. The fighter closed his eyes and began to dream. He was back in the battle. He saw that he was caught by the enemy. Then he saw his dog far away. The dog was quiet and looking at him. The fighter tried to make the dog go away so the enemies wouldn't hurt him, but when he looked again, the dog was gone. After a short time, loud sounds and blasts were heard. A group of fighters came and saved him. The dog was with them. "You helped me again," said the fighter. The fighter woke up. It was morning. The dog was still beside him, sleeping. Then the fighter said, "You're not just a dog to me. You're my best friend. You're my hero. I love you. And if you love the dog, drop a heart and subscribe." Daddy, my hand hurts. I was outside washing my new car when my daughter came out wanting to help, but suddenly I heard a scratching noise. I saw that she had scratched my car. I ran over, shut the door hard, and shouted, "What are you doing?" But by doing that, I accidentally slammed the door on her little fingers and cut them off. Later at the hospital, my little girl had her hand wrapped in bandages. She looked at me and asked, "Daddy, when will my fingers grow back?" I felt so bad and cried. When we got home, I started kicking my car again and again. Then I walked to the side where she had scratched it and I saw the words, "I love you, Daddy. If you think I am guilty, subscribe. Why are you late?" One student was always late to my class. I got angry with him and often hit his hand with a ruler as punishment. One day, I told him to bring his parents to talk to me, but they never came. The next morning, while I was riding my bike to school, I saw two boys in a small street behind the school. I thought they were skipping class, so I stopped. "What are you two doing?" I yelled. Then I noticed it was the same boy who was always late. "Oh, it's you! That's it! You are done!" He quickly said sorry and begged, "No, please! This is my brother! He is blind and I have to take him to another school! That's why I am always late!" I was shocked. "Where is your mother?" I asked. "We don't have a mother! We live alone and our neighbor takes care of us!" My heart sank, and I felt so bad for what I had done. I gave him a hug and said, "Sorry. No one should judge others without knowing their full story. And if you agree, subscribe for good luck."
I hated my little brother when we were young. He always got all the care and attention. Every day he made a picture for me saying, "Sister, look, this is for you." But I always yelled at him, "That picture is ugly." I did that because I was jealous. Everyone cared about him, and my parents always blamed me, not him. Still, he kept drawing for me every day. He would draw us hugging, laughing, being happy, but I still didn't like him. One day, he didn't come to give me his drawing. There were no smiles, no hugs. My little brother passed away from cancer. Now I was sitting alone in his room and found all the drawings he tried to give me. On each one, he had written, "I love you, sister." My heart broke. From that day, I would give anything just to hug him again and tell him how much he meant to me. But it was too late. Holding his pictures, I saw how much he truly loved me. And if you love your siblings, subscribe!
The teacher is stealing students. During the war, our teacher started acting in a strange way. He would take a few of us for a walk, but when they came back, some students were always gone. I asked him, "Where did they go?" But he only said, "They are safe now." I didn't really get what he meant. A week later, the school was almost empty. Only the teacher, me, and one other student were left. All the others never came back. Then we heard loud gunshots outside. Enemy soldiers stood in front of the school and yelled, "Give us your students, we need them for the work camp." The teacher told us to hide, then walked out to meet them. He said, "I don't have any." The soldiers got mad and said, "Then we only need you." They dragged him behind the school. Moments later, we heard one more gunshot. That's when we finally understood. Our teacher had been hiding all of us. He knew the soldiers would come, so he made sure the students were safe first. In the end, he gave his life to protect us. After the war, people built a big statue to honor him. They called him a guardian angel. Drop a heart if the teacher deserves to. Stop, you are going to hit me! One night, I saw a car driving really fast past me. I got in my car and started following it. The car finally stopped, and when I walked up to the driver's window, I was surprised to see a very old man inside. "You were speeding, what were you thinking?" I asked. He said, "It's an emergency." I asked if he had been drinking, but he said, "I'm not drunk." The next day at the police station, I sat across from the old man and asked him some questions. He looked tired and weak. "Sir, you know you could go to jail for driving at that speed. Why would you do that?" The old man began to cry and said, "I was taking my boy to the doctor. He has cancer. He wasn't feeling well." I was shocked. "How old are you, sir?" He said, "I'm 100 years old," with tears in his eyes. "My son has no one else. I've been taking care of him until now. He's 70. I take him to the hospital every day. Please, if I go to jail, could you take care of him for me?" My heart felt heavy. "I'm sorry, sir. You will not go to jail. You are proof that no matter what, family always comes first. If you agree, comment and share this with a friend. My son is hurting a homeless lady." As I stopped at a small cafe to grab some coffee, I saw my son across the street. He was standing and looking at a homeless woman asking people for change. My son walked right up to her. At first, I thought he was going to help, but instead, he grabbed the few coins she had and tossed them into the trash. The homeless woman began to cry. "I wanted to buy food with that money. Why did you do that?" she said. Then my son took out a $100 bill and gave it to her. "Here, I hope this is enough to buy you food for a couple of days." For a moment, I thought, wow, my son is kind. But then he turned turned to his buddy who was recording everything. "Did you get it?" His friend nodded. Suddenly, my son slapped the woman, snatched the money back, and tossed the $100 bill into the trash. He laughed and ran off with his friend. The woman stared into the trash with tears falling from her face. Later that day, my son came to me. "Dad, can I use your card? I want to get food for me and my friend." I pulled out my card and tossed it in the trash. "Go get it out," I said. He was stunned, and I shouted, "When you do evil, it will always come back to you. If you agree, comment and share this with a friend." My parents died, and I was left with my little sister. I looked after my little sister, always making sure she was okay. She meant everything to me. One day, while she was walking home, a group of bad men took her in their car and drove away. I kept waiting, but after some hours, I knew something was wrong. I ran through the streets searching for her, but didn't find her. I was all alone, crying, feeling like I had no life inside me. I kept saying, "God, I'm begging you, please help me." Then I saw someone far away. It was my mom. She was crying. I ran to her, but when I got close, she started to fly. I followed her and came to a burning house. Then I heard my sister yelling, "Help me!" She was stuck inside. I ran in and saw her tied to a chair. I had a knife and quickly cut the rope. We started running, but the building was falling down and the way out was blocked. I couldn't see anything. I thought, "That's it. We are going to die." But then I saw two angels, and it was my mom and dad. They began moving the wood blocking the door, and we got out. My sister asked me, "How did you find me?" I looked up and said, "God sent me our two angels that will always protect us. And if you agree, subscribe." I trusted in God, but the other firefighters laughed at me because of that. One night, we got called about a house on fire. We reached the place and saw that a family was still inside. I grabbed my axe and prayed again. "God won't help you. You'll die if you go in alone. Just wait," the other firefighters yelled. But I ran to the house, broke the door with my axe, and started getting the family out one by one. When I went back in to check if anyone else was left, part of the roof collapsed on me. "He's probably gone. We can't see him," I heard people yelling. When I opened my eyes, I was shocked. Everything around me had fallen, except for the small space where I had prayed. That spot was untouched. "How did you live? The roof fell on you!" They couldn't believe I was alive without any injuries. I looked up and shouted, "God was with me. He kept me safe because I prayed to him. If you trust God, drop a heart and subscribe." "Not again, God!" My alarm didn't go off and I missed my morning bus. I stood there in the street, furious. "Why, God?" I yelled. "Why do you keep doing this to me? I pray all the time. I'm done. I'm so tired. I hate this." I sat on a bench, completely frustrated. It was going to be a long, hard day, and now I was going to be late. I didn't even want to pray. I didn't want to talk to God anymore. After a while, another bus came. I got on, totally silent. I just stared out the window. Then suddenly, the driver said, "There's been a big accident up ahead." A bus flipped over. I looked, and my heart dropped. It was my bus, the one I always take. Tears filled my eyes. I looked up and whispered, "Thank you, God. Thank you for saving me." If you love God, type amen and subscribe. God destroyed my... Great, you made it till this part because this isn't entertainment. This is a message. And the ones who stay, they're the ones God truly loves. Life. I lost my job. I had no money to buy food. My wife left me and I was about to have no place to stay. To make things worse, my car broke down on the road. I got out and yelled, "What did I do to deserve this? God, why do you hate me? Why did you forget about me?" I sat down and started crying while cars drove by. Then one car stopped. I looked up. A stranger came out holding a warm coffee and a bag of food. He gave them to me and said, "I don't know what you're going through, but something told me you needed this." I took the coffee, took a sip, and thanked him. "Why? Why would you help me?" He hugged me and said, "I used to be like this too. I know the pain, but God will never leave you or forget you. If you love God, drop a heart and subscribe." A man was talking to God. "God, I want to be rich. I want a pretty wife. I want everyone to like me." The next day, he walked to the park. On the way, a man who baked bread stopped him and asked, "Do you want to work with me?" The man laughed and said, "No way! I won't make any money with you." He kept walking and sat on a bench in the park. A woman came and sat beside him. She asked, "How are you?" He said, "That's not your problem." Then he stood up and walked home. That night, before going to bed, he thought, "Why is God not helping me?" He went to sleep and started dreaming. He saw God standing in front of him. He asked, "Why are you not helping me?" God said, "Look up!" A bright light showed, and in the sky he saw a video of his life. God said, "When you asked for money, I sent you a baker, who later made a bakery worth $1 billion. The woman on the bench was the pretty wife you wanted. I don't make magic, I give chances. You didn't take yours. They did something awful to my grandpa." When I was born, my parents were both heavy drinkers and didn't want me, but my grandpa chose to take care of me. He raised me and did everything for me. Every night, he made me a cup of tea and sat beside me, laughing and telling stories. I loved my grandpa, and he loved me. As I got older, my grandpa ran out of money and couldn't pay rent anymore, so he moved into my home. I wasn't happy because I wanted to live alone. One day, after a bad day at work, I came home angry. My grandpa brought me tea, but his hands were shaking, and he spilled it on me by accident. I got mad and yelled, "I've had enough! Go live on your own!" My grandpa looked heartbroken and slowly walked out of the house. Hours went by and I started to feel terrible. I thought, what have I done? He cared for me my whole life. I ran out to search for him. After looking everywhere, I saw him lying near a trash bin, hurt. A stranger told me that some bad people had attacked him. I was shocked and quickly took him to the hospital. When he woke up, I cried and hugged him tight, shouting, "I'm so sorry, Grandpa. You never left me, so I'll never leave you." If you love your grandparents, subscribe!
My foolish husband is always drunk. When my sons were little, their dad drank too much. Every day he caused problems in the house, and I was too afraid to stop him. I worried about how it would affect my boys. As they got older, they moved out. One day I went to see my older son. His house was full of bottles, and he had become just like his dad. I asked him, "How did you end up like this?" He shouted, "What did you expect? Dad was an alcoholic." Of course I turned out like him. I left and went to my younger son's house. His place was neat and peaceful. He had never drunk alcohol and was doing great. I asked him the same thing. "How did you end up like this?" He smiled and said loudly, "What did you expect? Dad was an alcoholic." We should learn from other people's mistakes and build a life we can be proud of. If you agree, share this with a friend.
Why is my dog barking? I was walking home with my dog when suddenly he started barking. I was puzzled, and then he began running away from me. I chased him, and we reached our house. It was on fire. I panicked when I heard my wife screaming for help. She and our daughter were trapped inside. Without thinking, we rushed into the burning house. I was hurting, but I didn't stop. I finally found my wife holding our daughter tight. They were coughing but alive. I helped them outside to safety. But then I heard my dog crying. He was still inside. A policeman grabbed my arm and shouted, "It's too dangerous. You can't go in there." I looked at the flames, heartbroken. I couldn't let him stop me. I didn't care. I wouldn't abandon my best friend. I ran in and searched everywhere but couldn't find him. Suddenly, I heard him barking. He was hiding under the bed. I scooped him up, but he was unconscious. I rushed him to the vet. After a while, the doctor said he would live. I hugged him tight and shouted, "We are friends and friends never leave each other. If you agree, share this with a friend." I made a big mistake. After my parents passed away, my grandpa looked after me. He had to work every day until late at night to make sure I stayed alive. After many years, I got married. My grandpa got old and sick, and he didn't have enough money to pay for his home, so I let him stay with us. He was very old, so his hands shook when he ate, and he would drop food on the ground. My wife started to not like him. One day, we had people visit us, and my grandpa dropped his plate on the floor. My wife got very upset and told me to take Grandpa outside. As we walked in the snow, I told him to wait and said I would come back soon. I went back home, leaving him alone in the cold. I ate dinner with our visitors. After they left, I went to bed. Suddenly, I remembered Grandpa was still outside. I ran out, but I couldn't see because the storm was strong. I searched everywhere. Then lightning hit a tree. I got scared. I saw Grandpa lying in the snow near the tree, crying. I ran to him, carried him home, gave him warm blankets, and hugged him. I said, "I'm really sorry, Grandpa. You never left me, so I won't leave you. And if you love your grandparents, subscribe. Those prisoners are piece of shit." I was in jail, and the other prisoners didn't like me because I believed in God. Every day they laughed at me and said things like, "Why don't you ask your God to get you out?" One day, a guard came to my cell and shouted, "You think your God is strong? Let's see if he can save you now." He dragged me out, tied my hands and feet with chains, and threw me into a dark room full of poisonous snakes and rats. Nobody ever came out of that room alive. When the door shut behind me, the prisoners laughed and yelled, "Your God can help you now." I was really scared and felt like I couldn't even breathe. I started praying, "God, please help me. I believe in you." Suddenly, the room became silent. An angel appeared in front of me, clapped his hands, and all the snakes and rats stopped moving. I prayed all night, thanking God. In the morning, the guard opened the door, crying. He dropped to his knees and asked me to forgive him. I was shocked. Then he screamed, "All the prisoners who laughed at you were found dead this morning." This is why you should never make fun of God. If you agree, share this with a friend. This kid was a rich brat. When I was a child, my brother and I went to school together. We were very close. There was a rich boy who picked on everyone. He used to say things like, "My dad will throw you out if you don't do what I say." One day, he grabbed my brother and yelled, "Give me your money." My brother said no, and the boy shouted, "Who do you think you are?" The rich kid got angry and pushed him into the street. I saw my brother get hit by a truck. At the hospital, he died. In court, the rich boy's parents gave money to the judge. They said, "It was an accident." My mom and I cried while they walked away smiling at us. Years went by and I became a judge. One day, the rich boy, now a man, was in court again. He had taken someone's life. When he saw me, he got scared. This time, he couldn't run. I gave him a life sentence in jail. As the guards took him away, I shouted, "Evil always comes back. If you agree, share this with a friend." Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Life Lesson. I'm Adam, and I'll see you in the next story.